to go.
Okay, stand by. And 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Welcome to the Tuesday, August 8th, 2023 meeting of the Long Meadow School Committee. School committees and other public bodies may continue to hold remote meetings through March 31st, 2025, under legislation enacted on March 29th, 2023. The statute, Chapter 2 of the Acts of 2023, extends quorum reductions for remote meetings. All votes, while there is remote participation, must be made by roll call vote. The meeting is being recorded and aired on LCTV. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. I'll turn it over to Jamie for correspondence.
Yep. An emailed letter from Mr. Kevin Waltney dated July 20th, 2023 regarding a proposal for the addition of an aviation STEM curriculum.
Thank you. There are no minutes to approve tonight. Doesn't seem like, oh, do we have any visitor comments? Okay, it doesn't seem like we have any visitor comments. Do we have any school committee announcements or recognitions? We have no business with guests. We have no administrative reports or subcommittee reports. So at this time, I'll turn it over to Tom Mazza for some updates on food service, contract award, and the request for proposals.
Thank you, Mary, and good evening. So tonight, I'm here to update the school committee on an award that the school committee made back in the spring and May to approve a contract for Fresh Picks Cafe Services to provide food service program for the 23-24 school year. So this past year, DESE has provided a RFP process that districts who are using food service management companies and are in the process of bidding that service we're mandating that they start using the specific RFP that the state developed to provide some consistency across the process for all districts in Massachusetts that use this process or type of service. We advertised and received responses back in April. An evaluation committee was formed to review the proposals that were received. 2 responses were then reviewed and rated as highly advantageous based on a criteria that is defined in the RFP that was published. And then we did an evaluation of the financial proposals that, again, were submitted with the responses, and came forward to the school committee with a recommendation to award the contract for the 23-24 school year to Fresh Picks. And there were a number of reasons why the committee felt that their proposal was the best for Long Meadow. There was a memo that kind of outlined those reasons back in May. Some of it had to do with the level of participation that the vendor, one of the proposals was in recommending or expecting us to achieve this coming school year. There also was a comparison of compensation for the employees that would be working the program. The cost per meal to produce the lunches that are served was another area that was factored into our review. And again, so the committee kind of landed on recommending keeping Fresh Picks as our vendor for the 23-24 school year. As part of the process that DESE laid out, we were required to submit to them our evaluation process and the responses that the vendors provided. And they informed us earlier this summer that because of the language in the RFP that required the award to be made based on the bottom line operation of the program, the financial operation of the program, and not some of the other factors that we took into consideration, and the one that we thought was the best for Long Meadow, for our program, for our students, that they could not approve our award to go forward with Fresh Picks for this school year. So there was a number of communications back and forth. The town engaged the legal advice of counsel to kind of provide us, is there any path forward without having to go out to rebid? But they advised us that based on the latitude that DESE has in regards to these awards and in terms of contract extensions, that they recommended that the best approach would be to extend or amend the current contract we have with Fresh Picks for a period of July 1, 2023 through October 31st of 2023, so a 4-month period that they would provide services. And in the meantime, while that they are working in that time period, we would be required to go out to rebid. And they have provided for some revised language in their RFP that hopefully will address some of the concerns that we based our award on, that they're telling us we really couldn't take into consideration. So, for instance, they will require that any proposal that is submitted, the vendors have to be willing to financially support whatever surplus they say the district will achieve. And if we don't achieve it, then they have to repay the district up to the difference of that shortfall. They also will allow us to provide language that will require the vendors to pay current staff the rates that they're already being compensated, that they won't be allowed to, through the RFP, to change the rates below what any current employee is being paid. Again, we felt that was, important in our consideration in looking at the employees who are in the schools every day, supporting our operation, serving our students. Even though they're not directly employees of the Long Meadow schools, they're part of the community, they're part of our LPS family. And, even if the compensation were to be reduced, even by a small amount, it still is impactful. So especially in today's financial times and challenges. So unfortunately, there isn't a lot of latitude we have in trying to move forward. They kind of advised that our only path would be to rescind the approval that the school committee made to award the bid back from this past winter. That school committee voted in May to award it to Fresh Picks for the year, and then approve a contract extension for the period of July through October for this school year. And then hopefully the process will have played out, and school committee will have then made an award to the vendor from this new process, from this second bid that we'll be engaging in. So I can try to answer any questions to provide some clarity regarding this matter, as I'm sure there might be some confusion and need for some clarity on it.
Okay, so I'll open it up to the committee. Does anybody have any questions or comments?
I don't have any questions, Mary. We just talked about this a little bit with Tom. So I feel like I understand what's going on. I just want to say thanks to Tom for working on this, because I know it's very frustrating. And, I think you have the interests of the students and the employees in mind, and that's reflected in the fact that they're editing the RFP to address your concerns. So thanks.
Thank you, Julie.
And if I could add, so just to clarify, we don't really have another choice. This is the best path forward. It sounds like you've done a lot of work to try to come to an agreement otherwise, and that,
Yeah, I think Julie kind of hit on
Yeah.
a little bit my frustration probably in finance some is
okay.
was shared a little bit more than it is now. I mean, there's been dialogue back and forth with Desi about this, and I find it very unfortunate that we're in this situation. I don't believe that, I believe that the recommendation that school committee received and voted on was in the best interest of the district, both operationally and financially. And it's unfortunate that we now have to re-engage in the process. And it's, it's not a simple process. It'll take place over the course of 2.5 months to go through the full RFP process. But I think, as Mary, you indicated, as Julie said, like there don't appear to be options that we can pick from.
And Fresh Picks can rebid.
Fresh Picks most certainly will be able to rebid. They also are very agreeable and want to support us through the 4 months, through October. They don't obviously want us being left in a position without a service provider in 3 weeks when students return. So, yes, they most certainly will. They have indicated, I haven't spoken to the other vendor to see if they will, but I know Fresh Picks will definitely be submitting a proposal.
Okay, thank you. Are there any other questions or comments? Okay, I'll
Good.
entertain a motion.
I move that the school committee rescind the motion to approve the contract with Fresh Picks Cafe, a division of cafe services for the 2023-2024 school year, as presented and approved during the meeting of May 23rd, 2023.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nicole. We'll take a vote. I'll start with Zach. Okay, Zach said yes. Is that okay? We didn't audibly
Did you
hear
see it,
him.
or
No, I didn't see it.
you're on mute?
Yes.
Thanks, Zach. Nicole?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Michaela?
Should move into.
Michaela, you're muted.
Yeah.
Thanks, Michaela. Jamie?
Yes.
And yes for me.
Got it.
All right, great.
I move that the school committee approve the food service contract with Fresh Picks Cafe, a division of cafe services, for July 1st, 2023 through October 31st, 2023, as presented, and authorize the chair to sign on behalf of the school committee.
We have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nicole. Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Michaela?
Yes.
And Jamie?
Yes.
And yes for me. Okay, thank you. Yep.
Ready?
sorry.
We'll move this along. I move on the school, on that the school committee adjourn the August 8th, 2023 school committee meeting.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Thank you, Nicole. Zach?
Yes.
Nicole?
Yes.
Julie?
Yes.
Michaela?
Yes.
Jamie?
Yes.
And yes for me. Okay, that concludes the meeting tonight, and it was the fastest one I think we've ever
Ever.
had.
That's a record.
Ever
Thank you.
for me.
Thank you, everyone.
I hope everybody's doing well, and we'll see you next time. Thank you.